950. Real Texas, Real Talk. KPRC Houston, an iHeart radio station.
You know, we were supposed to talk to Dr. Mark Sherwood last week before we wrapped it up for 2021, and I'm glad that didn't work out because there's plenty of things that have happened between last week and this week in the COVID world, and I wanted to run some of that stuff past him anyway. So there you go. Timing is everything, and I think our timing is good. Dr. Mark Sherwood is a healthy living expert. He believes in taking care of your body, taking care of your immune system, and the rest, I guess, will sort of take care of itself. You don't need to worry as much about COVID-19 or any of its variants if you've done the right things as far as getting yourself healthy. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but I think that's the basic premise under which you work, isn't it?
Yeah, Jimmy, Happy New Year, and thanks for having me. You're right. When the body is doing what it's supposed to do, the chances of it being able to defend itself go up astronomically, and that's been our approach from day number one with all of this, is to just eliminate all of those comorbidities that we hear so much about.
Is somebody who believes in a healthy immune system, are you a little offended that isn't even discussed? The CDC doesn't talk about your immune system. They don't talk about the comorbidity problem. They don't even talk about treatments. They just want to talk about vaccines.
Yeah, Jimmy, I mean, probably the word offended is not even strong enough. You know, we're on radio, so I don't want to go use the word I'm thinking of. But I have looked desperately since this all began for somebody from the medical establishment, from government, or from church, really, to step up and say, let's quit dishonoring the temple. Let's treat our bodies right. Let's do what we need to do. But, Jimmy, nobody does that. Nobody does that. And it's frankly, it grates on me to the point where it's frustrating, and I use that term mildly, because this is the right way to do it. I mean, my wife and I have been so blessed to deal with 9,500 people since the beginning of the pandemic. And, Jimmy, we've lost nobody. And I'm happy about that. But I think of what could be possible around the country and world if people were just given the opportunity, not that we can force anybody to do anything, but given the opportunity to have the instruction, encouragement, education, to have this option as something we all should be doing.
Yeah, I agree. Would you say that obesity is the biggest issue as it relates to a comorbidity problem with COVID? It seems that the people who are having the worst results are all obese.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. The statistics that I saw, it was the number 2 factor of death, just behind age. But look, let's be really honest about this, and this is the elephant in the room. America, through the initiation of the Standard American Diet, when we got involved in food as the government, we created obesity. Before the Standard American Diet, the food pyramid, and all that mess, one state had an obesity rate, according to BMI, over 10%, and that was back in the mid-'70s. And it took 11 years for every state to go above 10% once the government started getting involved in trying to deal with this thing called health. And so we, the United States of America, created obesity, created the Standard American/Western lifestyle diet, and now we're exporting this around the world. This goes right through me because we don't have to be that way. If people are remembering, you look at a picture of citizens of the United States maybe 100 years ago, it was challenging to see someone that was even a little bit overweight. Now, my wife and I, because we follow a healthy, health-centric, disciplined lifestyle, we're looked at as weirdos or radicals. My, how things have turned around, and we're healthy now is considered radical, and unhealthiness is considered normal. We love our bodies. We love the obesity. Come on. Obesity is the fastest-growing non-communicable disease on the planet. We are not getting more thin. We're getting more fat, and that's not a slam on people that carry extra weight, but it is a creation of more inflammation, more lifestyle processes, more disease, and frankly, more medication dependency.
Okay, so losing weight would probably be the smartest thing you could do for yourself. Where do you kind of stand on the whole issue of vitamins, supplements, the other things that you could be taking. We hear all the time zinc and magnesium and vitamin D and vitamin B1 and all the different things we can and should take to help our immune system fight off not just COVID, but any virus that we might come in contact with.
Yeah, certainly the necessity of taking supplements these days is just that, because the food supply is inadequate. The soil's not been allowed to rest. We've had chemical alteration, genetic modification. So food is not food. And so what was an orange that contained an X number of nutrients is not the same number of nutrients today, substantially less. And with that said, it is incumbent upon all of us listeners right now to eat a healthy diet first and foremost. I mean, take out the standard American diet, bring in good fruits, vegetables, healthy fats such as avocado, coconut, macadamia oils, and good clean proteins, organic, grass-fed, wild-caught, hormone antibiotic-free. If we don't do that first, we create negative assimilation and digestion processes. Therefore, even supplements don't work. So supplements must not supplant. They must supplement. And then we do need to bring in things like vitamin D, which I see is inefficient literally all the time. Omega-3 fatty acids, Jimmy, 100% of the people that we've tested have been deficient. So this is a big deal right here, because that deals with inflammation. Zinc's a good one that we like to bring in, C, and then we'd like to bring in a good, strong multivitamin mineral to cover the bases. But in these days, though, supplementation that is incredibly well selected is not just a good idea. It's absolutely a necessity.
As you're talking about vitamin D, I'm picturing myself as a child running around outside in the sun, not worried about putting on a whole bunch of sunscreen because I was only going to be out there for an hour or two, and playing. In other words, natural exercise. These are things that we don't have kids doing anymore. Here in Southeast Texas, here in Houston, if you go out into any given neighborhood of young children, especially during the warm months, May, June, July, August, September, it is rare that if you see a child outside, they just hopped into the swimming pool and then they're going to hop back out again and go straight into the air conditioning. Nobody gets exercise, natural exercise anymore. Nobody gets that much sun anymore.
No, it's fascinating how the basic fundamentals and premises of healthy living have been turned into something that's bad. Like now all of a sudden the sun is dangerous. Well, if the sun's dangerous, then why was it created, and how come people aren't exterminated by the sun, and how are we having this conversation? If exercise is bad, then why do we have legs and arms? We're supposed to be moving, not just sitting in a chair playing video games with our thumbs. Exercise, lifestyle, sleep, sunshine, all have healing. We are made to move. We're made to interact. We're made to be outside. We're not made to be inside. As a matter of fact, even the air inside of a typical building is 3 times more polluted than the air outside. There is healing in the sunshine, and so this is something I'm encouraging people to do even in the wintertime as we are in the middle of it. Get outside every day in the middle of your days and at least spend 15, 20 minutes just walking around the building or something.
Yeah. Let me ask you about Aaron Rodgers, because I don't think that anybody knew he was quite this profound. I certainly didn't. I knew that he wasn't vaccinated, didn't believe in vaccination. But one thing, and this isn't about vaccination and whether you get it or you don't get it, you believe in it or you don't. But I thought what he said about science was dead on. He said, if you're not allowed to question science, it's not science, it's propaganda.
Yeah, I saw that and read that, and I thought that was extremely profound, extremely right on. Look, science is something that has been shown to be wrong many, many times. Like the Earth was flat, then it's round. We never knew that going to the moon was possible, then it is. My wife, who went to conventional medical school, told me something a professor said to her when she started. The professor said to her, and I'm paraphrasing from her, anything that we teach you now, you want to understand that half of it may not be accurate in 20 years. And that's science. Science is nothing more than a continual investigation trying to seek out truth. And, Jimmy, if you're looking for a continual investigation, investigation is always keeping their minds open to what is true, what is not. learning to unlearn as well as you learn. And that's what science is. Science is a big experiment. And the beauty of where we are right now is the ability to ask two questions: why and why not? And that has driven us for centuries. And all of a sudden now, to not be able to answer the question or ask the questions why and why not, it's disturbing. It's not just propaganda, in my view. It's actually an agenda. It's a narrative meant to steer people in a direction. And people need to continue to think for themselves. And I appreciate what Aaron Rodgers said along that, because the thinking for ourselves is the beauty of how our country was formed.
Here's the good news, I think. I'm beginning to see a crack in the armor a little bit. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing stories like this one. Here's the headline. Says new COVID-19 cases in U.S. soar to highest levels on record. And then after that, though, it says something very interesting. It's going to take some time for people to get attuned to the fact that cases don't matter. All they report on is cases because that's the most sensational part. But some of them are actually now willing to report that cases don't matter. It's hospitalizations and deaths. Those are the only two statistics that matter.
Yeah, when this thing came out way back when, I mean, this is going back to early 2020, it was all about how many people were going to die. There was no discussion about number of positive cases, and the narrative switched when you realized that, oh, by the way, you didn't have this exorbitant number of people that die. It didn't meet up with the expectations or the prediction models, and they were wrong. Well, now you have all people testing, and you have this idea of this mass testing stuff. Well, of course you test more, you're going to get more cases. I've been around this game for a long time, and I've never saw us testing for the common flu like this. I mean, if you test for the common flu with this massiveness, you're probably going to get it. The numbers are going to go up. So it's shocking to me how we've transitioned all this to keep the sensationalism alive when, in reality, ultimately, I mean, if people take care of themselves, as you said at the top of the segment here, if people took care of themselves, they would find themselves having more confidence, less fear, more robust immune system, more immunoresiliency, where they wouldn't find themselves in the hospital at all. And that's the goal. I mean, I dream of a day where hospitals struggle for business. I mean, that's awesome. Why can't we believe and dream that way and even teach our people to live that way? See, that's where I think we're being deceived, and I'll use that word intentionally. I can't go inside of a person's heart, Jimmy, and find out why they're doing it. But deception to not communicate whole truth is one of the saddest things that I've probably seen in my lifetime.
I would agree. Dr. Sherwood, a pleasure to talk to you, sir. I hope we get a chance to do it again. Thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
Hey, Happy New Year, Jimmy. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
You too.